Welcome back. Today we're making some teriyaki sauce. It's so simple and it's a lot cheaper and it tastes so much better. And you probably will want to do this and never go back to buying it. You need 3 parts, so the 1 part of each of these main ingredients. Okay, this is sake. I've bought the smallest quantity I could find. This is mirin. It's a sweet, very, very sweet white wine used in cooking in China. And this is a soy sauce. I've got quite a good quality one there, but it makes a very good sauce. Then you have some optional ingredients, which I've chosen some root ginger and some garlic. And you will need to thicken it just slightly. I've got a couple of teaspoons or so, actually it is about 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and a bit of water, and they call that a cornstarch slurry. I've got some jars to put things in when they're done. Why have I got 3 small jars? Well, if it was all for me, it would be in the fridge, but they're going to make nice presents, aren't they? Also, I've got one option, which is some toasted, and they have been toasted. I did them a little bit earlier, sesame seeds, because sometimes when you have a dipping sauce, which is why I've got 2 jars for me and one as a present, is the dipping sauce is nice with a bit of texture. And this I prefer if it's been toasted. If you've got some that's toasted, use that if that's what you want. But otherwise, you just put it in a pan and without any additions, you just gently keep twiddling it over a bit of heat, gentle heat, until it changes colour like this. There you are, and that's it. Now I put a bit of oil in the bottom of the saucepan, and I've grated them. These are now grated. That's my garlic, and this is the ginger. You don't have to add either of those if you're not keen on either. Now I'm going to put, oh dear, that's not good, is it? Right, let's try again. I'm going to turn the heat on, and I want a gentle heat. I'm not cooking this, but aromatics generally go into oil. They don't go into water. So to get the flavours out, I'm just going to heat them in oil. I don't want them to turn bitter. I don't want them to change colour. I just want them to impart their flavour, and it's already happening, isn't it? It's quite strong already. I just want them to impart their flavour into the oil. So it's going to take a few minutes, probably 3 or 4, just gentle, gentle heat. And while this is happening, I shall make the slurry. It's a pretty straightforward thing. You're adding cold water and just making a sort of paste. But this is so that when you add it to the sauce, as you've made it, it will thicken without lumps. So I'm just doing that in advance. I'm going to just poke this around again. Now I can really smell it. It is very, very strong. But I want it in a sauce, so I particularly want it strong. Now, apparently, I've seen several other versions of this sauce, and it's not thickened with a slurry. It's thickened with extra sugar, but I'm not really a very, very sweet lover. So that's how I'm doing mine. Choice is yours. Now, can you see it's bubbling, but it's not colouring? That's what I want it to do. I'm releasing it into the oil because it is only perfumed. This little bits will remain in my sauce because I quite like texture. Now, if you didn't want it in your sauce, then at this stage you need to sieve it to get out the oil, which will now have all your flavour in. But as I want it, it's not a problem. Okay, I'm just going to pour this in. It's nice. Right, the temperature's now dropped. I'm using the empty container as a measurement so they're all the same. And the last one I have is the soy sauce. Now, this is a genuine fermented soy. It's not just a colouring. And you can tell because the bubbles sustain after you shake the bottle. They don't just disappear instantly like a glucose water. And we pour that in. And now I want some heat in it. I want to bubble off the alcohol from the wine. And I want to get it reasonably hot. So I'm now going to bubble it just for a couple of minutes or so. You'll smell the alcohol leaving. It'll be quite a kick when it goes. And after you've bubbled that off, you've then got your aromatic oil, which is optional. And you've got the basis of your teriyaki chicken. Then I'm going to just add this, the slurry. But if you wanted to add more sugar to make it thicker, you can do so. And I believe the commercial ones use both. But I'm not really into very sweet products. It's already smelling, isn't it, of soy and garlic. Actually, it's a lovely smell. Yeah, quite pleased already. Now, these seeds, I will take this opportunity to put them all into one of these. That way, I'm just going to top it up, loads and loads of sesame, so that when you eat it, it'll have a much more of a strong sesame with a great texture. So when I pour the liquid over the top, you will end up with that as your sauce. Now this has actually gone to the base, so it needs stirring just before it goes in. If you wanted a thicker sauce, you make up more slurry. It's very simple. But again, I want it so that I can also use it as a marinade. It's a really good thing to put on stir-fried vegetables, on fried meat, grilled fish. You can do a lot with this, either as a marinade on the barbecue. You can add it as a dipping sauce for anything that you've got in the way of vegetables that you've used. You can take pieces of pancake out, cut them into little pieces, and then you've got something wonderful to dip them into. You can do it with egg that you have made into omelettes, thin omelettes, slice them, dip them. Another very nice thing you can do is to put pieces of chicken onto skewers and roll them in this. Leave them for about 20 minutes, grill them or fry them, and they are delicious. Right, a nice rolling boil. Okay, that's exactly what we want it to do. So we'll just let it sit on the heat. Yeah, that's the nice thing about cooking, isn't it? You enjoy all the smells first, and then afterwards you get the flavours. This I'm actually making as a nice little gift for my son, who likes cooking fast foods. He never spends very long. He's very busy working. So when he comes home, he can put on something grilled and spread this sauce on. So it's a little Easter gift. It's nicer for him than chocolate, isn't it? Okay. It's very good. You will really like that. Right. this always sinks to the bottom and separates out. So just before it goes in, which is now, I'm going to no, I want it more than that, I think. I think I need it just a little bit more than that. Yes, it's going to be a very successful sauce. Now, I don't want it too thick because otherwise it becomes a coating sauce rather than possible to use as a marinade as well. I think, remember this is a hot sauce. It'll thicken as it cools. So I think that's probably enough, which worked out at 3 teaspoons. And 200 mils of each of the liquids. And you can see now it's thickened. My sauce is ready. As I said to you, it's really easy, this. And it's absolutely gorgeous. If you wanted to put it into a bottle, then you would have to let it cool a little bit. But these are Kilner jars and they are designed for the heat. So oh my, doesn't it look wonderful? Well, you said it might be a little bit over when you did the calculations, and I think you're right. So I think we will be having that this evening. That's enough for a really nice sauce for this evening. So I'm just going to put this for a dipping sauce for tonight. Okay. And there you go. That was pretty straightforward, wasn't it? That's for tonight. Then I've got the lids. Because once it's brown, it's going to be difficult to know what it is. This one's easy, but it's not that straightforward in the fridge when you've made other things that are in little jars, is it? Now, I wanted that just to mix this one up and show you how nice it is when you've got all of that texture in your little pot dipping sauce. I'm going to take some of that and just put it in this one for this evening. There you are. So, teriyaki with sesame. And that makes an incredibly good gift because, yes, it does. Makes a very good gift. But it makes a nice gift because you can use it, even people who don't cook a lot. They will produce a grilled item or just something from the oven roasted quickly, even reheated food. And a vegetarian would enjoy this. You know, it's just an amazing sauce. So enjoy.